Okay, so let's get started. We're going to be taking a look at how to do the read, write, and licensing process with our MPVI cable and our VCM editor software. This is going to be the very first thing that you get started with in your calibrating and tuning process. We want to read the original file out of your engine control module, whether that's the original Ford file or original tune file. Maybe another tuner has performed a tune on your vehicle. You want to read that file out. We want to save that as our original, and then we can modify and edit from there. In order to modify and edit the file and then flash it back to the vehicle, we have to license our vehicle. Now, the licensing process with HB Tuners is going to be using a crediting system. My vehicle, which is a 2022 Mach 1 Mustang, requires 4 credits, which you should find the same for the vehicle you're tuning. Any Gen 3 vehicle, I believe, is going to be 4 credits. We have to actually apply those credits to the MPVI cable, to the VIN of our vehicle, which is stored on the MPVI cable, and then we're free to flash and write any changes we want as many times as we want once the vehicle has been licensed. So we have to go through this process. First thing we're going to do is read the original file out of our engine control module. This is pretty simple. Now I have my MPVI 2 cable plugged into the OBD2 port, which is then plugged into my laptop. I have the ignition key on, engine off, so the engine is not running. And I have obviously the VCM editor software open here, and we can see that we're ready to now do the read process. Now this is pretty straightforward. If we go up here to the top, we're going to find that we have this read button that we can simply press, and that'll start the read process. This is going to take a bit of time. Depending on your vehicle, it could be as much as 30 minutes. Typically it's about 15 to 20 minutes, but I've had it take about 30 minutes. It's definitely annoying, and I would recommend when you're doing this read process, to keep the door open on the vehicle so the body control module doesn't go to sleep. I've had that happen a few times. Now, if that happens during the read process, there's nothing that's going to be bad or anything can go wrong during the read process. That could only potentially happen during a flash process. You could potentially brick the engine control module when you're doing a flash. If for some reason you get disconnected or power drops on the car. So you always want to have a battery charger whenever possible doing a flash, just so you know your battery voltage is up. But when you're doing a read, it's really not that important. If, again, it fails the read process because the body control module powers down, worst case, you can just restart the read process again. So again, there's nothing to worry about here. There's nothing that could potentially completely disable your vehicle. So let's go ahead and see what this is going to look like. So we're going to go up here and we can go to the read vehicle option, and we're going to have our vehicle reader window pop open here. Now if I go to gather info, this is going to gather info on the actual vehicle we're working with here. We can see in this case it's showing me it's a 2022 Ford Mustang Mach 1 Coupe. Has the VIN number, it has the hardware, and it gives me the operating system. Now, we have the option here, read entire, virtual stock read, or do not write. Now, the read entire is going to be reading the actual original file from Ford that's on our engine control module. The virtual stock read will actually ping the HP Tuner server and read what they have on file as the original from Ford. It doesn't necessarily match up to what you have in terms of the file, but it should be the equivalent because it knows what the operating system is going to be. So if I do read entire, it's going to take potentially up to 30 minutes. If I do a virtual stock read, it could be much quicker, but again, it may not be the exact file that you have in your engine control module from Ford. So you have to choose what you want to do. I usually like to do the read entire, just be patient. And again, keep the door open and keep the body control module from going to sleep when we do this process. Let me do the read entire, and then we'll go and click read. Now, when we do this, it's going to start to say interface open. It's going to go through a process here. You can hear the car's going to start to chime. You see a bootloader starting here, and this is just the beginning of the read. Again, this takes up to 30 minutes, but usually 15 to 20 minutes when we're doing this process. And what I'll actually do here, let me just let it continue on. We can click abort at any time if we want to get out of this, but let's let it just continue here. I want to just show the next process because it gives us an approximation, 21 minutes. So it does take quite a bit of time to do this. So let's go here and just click abort real quick, and let's just go ahead and stop it. What I'm going to do right now is actually just show you the virtual stock read because it is going to happen much quicker. Now, you do want to make sure that you are connected to internet, whether that's going to be an actual Wi-Fi connection or if it's going to be a landline style connection. You need to make sure you have the internet when you're doing this process. It definitely can get a little bit annoying. Like, let's say if you're going to driving around and you're doing calibrating and tuning, you're not in just, let's say, on a dyno or just in a physical location. You may have to have a sharing your hotspot from a phone in order to do your flashing, because it does check the HP Tuner server. Again, that's something else we're going to talk about later in the training course, but it is something to keep in mind. I am sitting here stationary in my shop. I have Wi-Fi, so I don't have to worry about not having the internet. But let's do our virtual stock read here. Let's go into a read. It's going to ping the HP Tuner servers now, and we should find that it's substantially faster. The tune file you've just been supplied is the stock file because this control module is not readable. It's perfectly safe to use. This module has been previously tuned. You will lose any existing changes. We'll click OK. That's fine. And now we're able to save that virtual read. So you can see that was almost instantaneous because it pinged the server at HP Tuners and it downloaded the strategy number for the engine control module here, and it allowed us to almost immediately bring that right in. So what I'm going to do right now, just so I can show you this, I want to save the file. This is the
Thanks for checking out our teaser clip. If you want to see the rest of this video and more than 500 hours of current EFI training we have to offer, make sure you click right here. If you want to go and check out more teaser clips from this training course, click here. And you don't want to miss any of the videos we're going to be releasing on this channel, so make sure you subscribe and click here. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys later.